Pregame.com.
Could the Indianapolis Colts without Andrew Luck be the worst team in the National Football League? This is Brad Powers, the Pregame.com studios just off the Vegas Strip. We're talking NFL Sunday Week 2 action. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the Indianapolis Colts. And Fez, neither team looked that good in Week 1. Who do you like in this matchup and why?
Contrarian pick. I'm on the Colts plus the 7.5, and it's all about total embarrassment Sunday. What was that? The Indianapolis Colts, boy. They are being called out by the national media. They are being called out by the local media. These guys are being compared to the New York Jets for the very worst team in the NFL. What a difference one game makes. We all know that the Colts have no quarterback, but and their team is down. But can they really be as bad as the Jets?
Yeah, I think we just saw an example of this in college football, and I'm a college guy first and foremost. UNLV gets beat by Howard. It's the biggest upset in the history of college football. Everyone throws them in the trash, fire their coach, get them out of town, and yet the next week they're an underdog on the road against Idaho, and they absolutely crush Idaho the next week. They rally around each other, get a nice bounce-back win. Is that what you're kind of projecting here?
Absolutely. I think the Dancing Bison come in and they cover by 48 points. You know, it's a 45-point dog. They win by 3. All right, the Colts didn't have quite as bad a day on the weekend, but they still failed to cover in their blowout loss by 33 points, and it was enough to get everyone's attention for how inept they really were.
I want to talk about the head coach that you're going to back in this game, Chuck Pagano. I mean, he doesn't even know who he's playing because last week he goes out in the media and says, hey, the 49ers kicked our ass last week. I mean, what are the chances of this guy making it to the end of the regular season as the head coach for the Colts?
And that pissed me off because I bet the 49ers, and I saw that quote. I was like, oh, they must have covered, right? Yeah. No, Pagano got confused. But there are two types of lame duck coaches, or I should say hot seat coaches. There's the lame duck coach that knows he's going to get fired, and the coach that is playing and coaching for his job. And Pagano most certainly could retain his job if he can turn this around. At least he feels that he can. Now, I think he should be the heavy favorite to be fired first, but I like that. I like a coach on a hot seat that needs to win like blood.
All right, Fez, second main handicap.
The Arizona Cardinals are a very overrated team. So going in, a lot of optimism, a lot of wise guys backing the Cards to go over 8 and over 8.5 wins. Well, then they play the Detroit Lions. And so what did we see? Well, we saw their stud running back get hurt, and he's out for 8 weeks now. And Carson Palmer, in that second half, when he had to play without that security blanket to be able to dump that ball off or hand it off, he was truly awful. He could have thrown 4, 5 interceptions in that fourth quarter.
All right, I was busy betting at the win and didn't see that game live. Now, I got tickets on over 8 season win total. I mean, I looked at the market and saw Arizona in that particular game against Detroit flip from dog to favorite. You mean to tell me that after just one game, all this wise guy action on Arizona, crumple it up in a piece of paper and throw it away?
Everything changed. Now, I might have been biased, but I'm watching the game. So Arizona's, it's 10-9, and they have bad field position. So there he is, our man, David Johnson. He breaks a couple tackles, picks up 6 yards, picks up a swing pass, breaks a couple more tackles, 20 more yards. Down the field they go, and then they get in the red zone. Nice pass down the field. He's a really good receiver, picks up 20 yards, gets his bell rung and his wrist broken or whatever, has him out now for the 8 weeks. As soon as they had to take over after that, punched it in, go up 17-9, no more offense the entire game. And I truly feel, hey, if Bell went down, when Zeke goes down, the national media is all over it because these are sexy teams that people are following. Arizona, I think that Johnson, although he's a fantasy darling, #1 pick by many people in fantasy drafts, he's much more under the radar for the mainstream public.
All right, Fez, let's make this one official.
Let's make it official. The Colts were embarrassed on Sunday. They will bring maximum effort here, and Arizona is an overrated team. Carson Palmer has declined big time, and his shortcomings will be magnified with stud running back David Johnson out. The Fezmas says back the Colts plus 7.5. More videos at pregame.com.